Today we're at Fort Hill Cemetery in Auburn, New York, where many people who've impacted this world are buried, including Harriet Tubman. Today you're going to hear from suffrage historians with insights and facts about two very important champions of social reform movements here in Central New York, Matilda Joslyn Gage and Harriet Tubman.
Hi, my name is Sherry Dozier Owens. I'm a board member for First Amendment First Vote. Harriet Tubman was an important black suffragist in the early women's suffragist movement here in Central New York. She's best known for being the conductor of the Underground Railroad, as well as the Moses of our people. But she's largely not known in the landscape of women suffragists here in New York State.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Sedgwick with the National Park Service at Harriet Tubman National Historical Park in Auburn, New York. What we really concentrate on here at this park is the story of Harriet Tubman in her free years. Here in Auburn, she will live in freedom for 50 plus years. She's born in Maryland in 1822, and she is born enslaved. She is the fifth of 9 children, and her given name was Araminta Ross. They called her Minty. And we don't know a lot more about her until she marries John Tubman. At this point, she will drop the name Araminta and take on her mother's name, Harriet, and then drops her maiden name, Ross, and takes on her husband's name, Tubman. And then Harriet finds out through the grapevine that she is the property to be sold. She leaves on her own, travels by foot all the way to Philadelphia from Dorchester County, Maryland, and there she is going to find what she calls freedom. In Philadelphia, she is going to meet Lucretia Mott. Now, Lucretia Mott's name may sound familiar, as she is one of the 5 women who start the Women's Rights Convention in Seneca Falls in 1848. And Lucretia Mott is going to introduce Harriet Tubman to her sister, Martha Coffin Wright, who lives right here in Auburn, New York. Now, Martha Coffin Wright's husband, law partner, is William Seward. He lived in the mansion that's right behind me. His wife, Frances, is the true abolitionist in the family. She will open that home behind me as a station on the Underground Railroad. And Frances Seward is going to sell property that she inherited from her father to Harriet Tubman. This is before the Civil War, so this is an illegal act in violation of the 1850 Fugitive Slave Act.
Hi, I'm Danielle Fettigan. I'm a 5th generation descendant of Harriet Tubman. Behind me is her residence, which was rebuilt after a fire. It was rebuilt with bricks made from clay found on this property. Mr. Nelson Davis, Aunt Harriet's second husband, was a brickmaster. I'm of a long line of Tubman descendants who were born and raised here in Auburn. I'm so proud to be a part of her family lineage and legacy.
After the Civil War, when Harriet returns to Auburn, this is when she really starts her philanthropic work. And on the suffrage front, of which Frances and Martha Coffin Wright are right at the front, they include Harriet in many of these meetings. Her whole point is, if she has done all these things in her life, then she also deserves the right to vote. I think Harriet Tubman would want to be remembered today for the work that she started in her lifetime. Her work involved many times helping the poor, helping those who needed an education. Welcome to Fort Hill Cemetery. One of the many very famous people that are buried here is Harriet Tubman Davis. Harriet lived here in Auburn for over 50 years and passed away on March 10th of 1913. She's buried next to her brother, who passed away a year prior to her, and Tubman's funeral was attended by many people. The newspapers across the country and around the world carried the news of her death.
Welcome to the former home of Matilda Joslyn Gage, abolitionist, freethinker, lifelong suffragist, and unwavering advocate for the separation of church and state and personal freedoms for women. And I'm here today with First Amendment First Vote student Jane Oliver from Auburn.
Hi Jane, welcome to the Gage House Museum. I'm Halen, I'm a Gage ambassador here. Come on in, Sal's looking forward to your visit.
Welcome, come on in. Oh, I'm so happy you're here. I'm Dr. Sally Rush Wagner. I'm the Executive Director and the founder of the Matilda Jocelyn Gage Foundation. And we run her historic home as a center for social justice dialogue. Matilda Jocelyn Gage was a woman who Gloria Steinem said was ahead of the women who were ahead of their time. She raised every issue that is unresolved in the women's movement today. From equal pay for equal work, she exposed in the 1850s that women were making a third to a half of the wages that men made. Matilda Jocelyn Gage would say to us, push that agenda. You need to get pay equity as quick as you can. In her major work, Woman, Church, and State, she described sex trafficking with such clarity that my friend Gloria Steinem read it at an anti-trafficking conference, and people said, when was that in the paper? I missed it. Gage's 1893 description of sex trafficking. Now, how important was she in the movement? She shared leadership positions in the organization with Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony. They were considered the triumvirate of the National Woman Suffrage Association. She lived in this house from 1854 until her death in 1898. And in the Haudenosaunee room, we invite visitors to begin a tour of the home in this room. One, because we want people to center themselves in place. And we are in the original homelands of the Onondaga Nation, one of the 6 nations of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy. She got a vision not just of equality within the existing system, but a vision of transforming society. That vision is what carried all of Matilda Jocelyn Gage's work. She says, never was justice more perfect, never was civilization higher, and she's referring to the Haudenosaunee. We're now in the Oz parlor of the Matilda Jocelyn Gage home. Why is there an Oz parlor in the home of a feminist? The man who wrote The Wizard of Oz was the son-in-law of Matilda Jocelyn Gage. After the death of her husband in 1884, for the last 14 years of her life, every winter she closed up this house and went to live with the Baums. These issues of social justice that are at the heart of Matilda Jocelyn Gage's vision come to life in the 14 Oz books of her son-in-law, L. Frank Baum. All reforms are gradual. You know, you're not going to get your rights right away, but what you need to do is to each accomplishment, hold on to it. Don't let it be taken away.
Don't forget to use the Explore More links on the First Amendment First Vote website to learn more about Harriet Tubman and Matilda Jocelyn Gage.